Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. This is a shot of whiskey, and yeah, it's been exactly 2 months since I made my last video for you guys. My apologies. With this whole lockdown thing going on, how it's affecting me specifically, I haven't really had much of an opportunity to where I felt right about making a video. And what I mean by that is my mom and my son are still in the freaking house. My son is in first grade. He's been home this entire time. I mean, there was like one weekend where he spent with his mom, which I went with too. But aside from that, yeah, he's been here the whole freaking time. So I don't really like making videos when he's around, only because of a lot of the laws and rules that have been put in effect lately. So, like, I mean, if you guys have watched my videos long enough, you know that he's been in some of my content before. I think it's actually, I think it's been about a year since the last time he was. Might have been once before, after that, but yeah, the last one that I remember, we were actually at my ex's house, opening up some of the Easter candy or whatever the fuck it was that I got for him. You know, basically doing kind of like a Ryan's Toy Review sort of thing. I hope I don't get flagged for mentioning that that channel exists. Who the hell knows? YouTube is so freaking wonky anymore. And as for my mom, you know, technically I live with her. I moved back in with my mom. I have no problem admitting this. Sometimes people need that help. I just don't like making videos when she's around because, you know, I know my mom, she's judgmental, and she's nag, that kind of person. And with some of the content that I cover, I don't want her to be interjecting her opinion and BSing stuff that I don't need to hear. And stuff that I could easily negotiate and debate around. Like if I were to do something about Me Too, in fact, I know this because we've actually had these discussions, she'd want to bring up an incident that may or may not have happened with her. I word it like that because it was one of those cases to where, you know, when she was younger, she partied, she did drugs, she got drunk, and she believes that one of these particular nights she may have been raped. The main reason why I think that there's at least a degree of truth to it is it's been pretty damn consistent all these years of hearing this story. I think the first time I heard this story, I was like 11 or 12 or some crap like that. Story hasn't really changed that much, so I do believe there's at least a degree of truth to it. It could be 100% spot on, but I still think it's pathetic that, well, maybe pathetic isn't the right word. Shameful. No, I was. Hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. She didn't feel right about going to the police because she believed that she wouldn't be believed. Believe. Which I think it's sad that somebody would actually think that. I also think it's kind of sad that there's reasons for people to believe that. You know, I'm not going to entirely say I think the Me Too movement was entirely wrong. I mean, their original purpose, you know, I have no problem agreeing with that. Oh, okay, so my battery's starting to die. Go figure. But in any case, I don't like making videos when she's around, and for legal reasons, I don't like making videos anymore with my son around. Although he and I have actually been talking about making his own channel at some point, which I have no idea what the hell he's going to be doing it about. But it would be kind of fun to do. Why do I feel like there's hair on my face? Other than the obvious hair. But, so anyways, I'm going to try and do more videos kind of like this. I'm standing at a brick pillar right now, not too far from where I live. I chose this location mostly because there's a bright light right there. This particular street, there's not a whole lot of bright lights. As someone who walks, I could easily get hit by a car who's not paying attention. Easily. So, it's a good spot, a lot of protection. I'm next to a brick wall. Your camera's sitting on the brick wall, so I thought it was a good idea. However, I'm thinking that if I'm going to do this, I want to do it at least once a week. And I was thinking about doing it while I'm walking home from work. You know, it seemed like a perfect opportunity to do it. And I can just talk about whatever the hell's going on. Such as what's been going on this past week throughout the country with people rioting over the unjust killing of the black guy in Minneapolis. And for those of you who lack a sense of humor, yes, I was kidding with that delivery. I've actually been having a lot of people on Facebook be like, "Oh, yeah, that's not funny." It's like, it's called a joke. Lighten the hell up. But in all seriousness, though, I do agree that what happened to the guy was way out of line. Not cool. It was right for that cop to get fired. It was right for the other 3 cops to get fired, which, from what I understand, is what happened. I do think it was oddly quick how fast this guy was arrested and charged. Especially when you consider that there have been plenty of other cases of an unjust cop killing where it took months before an arrest was made. They knew who it was, but it took months before an arrest was done. So as far as I'm concerned, this was oddly fast. But a lot of it may have had something to do with the video footage, the quality of it. Now, I'm putting a speculation on that, mostly because I have no idea what was discussed, but also because I actually didn't watch the video. I'll rephrase that. I watched like the first 30 seconds of it, something like that. I stopped watching after a while, mostly because the quality of the sound when I was listening to it was crap. So I kind of figured, no, I'll listen to it again later, and I just never got around to it. Then again, a lot of it is because there's been so much crap coming out. It's like, calm down, people. Now, I understand what happened to the guy was way out of line. It was not cool, but at the same time, that doesn't excuse burning down metros, okay? And especially small businesses. That just makes no sense to me. No sense to me at all. Earlier today, actually, well, yesterday by the point in time I'm making this, I got into a discussion with a former roommate of mine who, he posted something on Facebook that was a tweet or a Facebook post, I don't really remember, from some guy who apparently he was in Minneapolis. He owns a small business. I can only guess based off of his name that he may have been either from or his lineage is from South Central Asia. So like India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, somewhere around there. I'm not entirely sure. I have no problem admitting that in this case I'm culturally inept. But this guy was saying that he was totally fine with his business that he spent his entire life building up. Totally fine with having it being completely destroyed by these rioters because a human life is more important than a business. While true to an extent, the thing is you're using that business to take care of your life and presumably the lives of your families as well. Plus, what does his death have to do with your business? I mean, unless he was like a regular customer or business partner or something like that, the answer is absolutely nothing. So, doing this whole high and mighty, human life is more important stuff is just dumb. It's dumb. I don't care if you're empathetic to the situation, it's dumb. And there are plenty of other businesses that are in Minneapolis, owned by black people, I might add, who are pissed about it. There was I saw something, again, on Facebook. It was a GoFundMe thing to help one guy in particular rebuild, pay for the damages of his business. It's like, why? I got into another argument with an old friend of mine, and calling him a friend is a little bit loose. He was more like an associate, and to be entirely honest, I'm now really starting to think that maybe I should cut ties with this guy. He's a fucking moron. But he was trying to make the comparison that the destruction of government property because we're pissed off that somebody died in custody and we're going to claim it was racism even if it isn't, or who knows, that somehow is the same thing as the Boston Tea Party. I won't go into the full debate, but no, it's not. He brought up Baltimore. So there was that Freddie Gray guy. He was the Baltimore one, right? I don't know. I have such a hard time keeping track of some of these names. I'm pretty sure it was Freddie Gray. But as far as I'm concerned, that was not a case of the government overpowering its will and taking the life of an innocent man. A few people who kind of represent it, sure. But it's not like it was ordered by the mayor or the governor or anything like that. It was by dumbasses who just so happened to have had a badge. I don't think it had anything to do with the guy's race, especially since half of the people who were involved with arresting him were black. The people they worked for was black. The people that that person worked for was black. The person that that person worked for was black. And the president at the time was black. You know, I really, really, really seriously doubt that Freddie Gray died because of his skin color. As far as the Minneapolis case, I have similar doubts. I haven't really seen anyone post proof that he got what he got because of his skin color. Could it be possible? Sure. Why the hell not? Anything's possible when you don't know what the hell's going on. But that doesn't automatically mean that him white, him black, therefore racism. It's not reality, folks. It really isn't. And even if it were reality, even if this guy was killed just because he was black, that doesn't excuse burning down buildings. Doesn't excuse destroying cities. And to an extent, yeah, I'll even include government-funded buildings. You know, I don't live too far from Portland, Oregon. Tonight, during this course, in fact, I think it's going to be ending here in like about 2 or 3 hours, Portland has a curfew. Because the night beforehand, some protesters, rioters, destroyed government property. I think, don't quote me on this, I think it was the courthouse. But in any case, Mayor Wheeler, holy crap, he actually did something right for a change, tried to put an end to this stuff. So, and I do say that's a bit of a surprise because in the past with a lot of these things, Wheeler's been on board with the rioters. He's been fine with it. He's agreed with it, kind of thing. So, I don't know. Maybe he finally realized that, hey, if I keep allowing this kind of crap going on, maybe I won't win re-election. More Facebook stuff. Yeah, go away. But yeah. So, oh yeah, there was something else about this guy that I wanted to bring up too. Oh, yeah. So he, like a lot of these rioters, the associate of mine, they seem to be under the impression that because some cops are bad, the majority of cops are bad. And he tried to explain this to me mathematically by pointing out that there were 4 cops in the picture. Therefore, no more than 20% of the cops in the entire Minneapolis Police Department were good cops. I'm like, how the hell are you coming up with that? And so we came up with this debate about samples, how samples work, and how math works. And it's like, okay, first of all, okay, I admitted this, I didn't know about the numbers, but I compared Minneapolis' police department to Portland's, which last that I had heard was just a little under 1,000. It was like 875 or some crap like that. But considering how big Minneapolis is compared to Portland, I gave him a range of a possibility, and it was like 1,000 to 1,500, something around there. And I was like, and just to make things even gentler for you, I'm going to be helpful to you because you're an idiot. I'm going to include St. Paul in this as well, even though Portland, I'm not. So 1,000 to 1,500 cops. 4 of them are in a picture doing something stupid, one of which is unquestionably immoral and illegal. How can you take that one example? I don't even call it a sample because it's not even properly collecting the information involved with it. How are you turning that into saying that at least 80% of the police department is bad cops? And I see that the battery is dying, but long story short, he couldn't give me a factual reason for why he came up with that for the sample. He was just like, samples are intended to be given an approximation. I'm like, yeah, but you're not really given a good one. You're just pulling a number out of your ass. And we even used an example of the National Hockey League. Well, it actually started off with the NFL. I was like, 3/4 of the NFL is black. Does that mean that 3/4 of all professional sports are black? And since he didn't exactly get it, he's like, it's more like a picture of 4 black players. Does that mean that... It's like, okay, so let's go with the NHL. Let's say that there's a picture with 4 professional hockey players. Does that mean that the entire NHL is at least 80% black? No, it doesn't. Maybe those 4 people in particular are standing together because of some sort of special reason. I mean, as far as I know, there's only 1 black guy in the NHL, but actually I think there might be 2. But anyways, my battery is starting to go down. But anyways, this whole thing is getting ridiculous. I get it. What happened was wrong. Don't add the wrong to it. Martin Luther King Jr. had said something to the effect of, don't combat hate with hate. It just spreads more hate. Not that hard, people. Get it together.